Hello friends, and welcome to this crochet tutorial where I'm going to show you how to make these rattle snakes. It's a very simple process. We will be using worsted weight yarn, and I'm going to show you how to create these snakes as well as the little design on top and how to put a rattle in its head. So if this is something that you're interested in, he's telling you, come join us so that you can make one of his family members. The materials and the tools that we're going to use to make this snake, here I have a half-used skein of Red Heart Super Saver in the color of cornfield or cornmeal. It's a yellowish color. I have a pencil here to help with stuffing. Of course, we're going to be using stuffing in this. I have a 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, a tapestry needle, which will help close the ends and add our details. I have a rattle. We can get these on AliExpress. A pair of scissors. I have 8 millimeter safety eyes with the safety backing. We have about 18 inches of red yarn to be used for the tongue. And then I'm going to accent mine with black. And by accenting, I mean we're going to sew these in to give this little look that we have here. Now before we begin, I always like to pull out an ample amount of yarn that we're going to need from our skein, so that way we can maintain the proper tension. As you crochet your snake, make sure that you have your yarn pulled from your skein, so that way the tension is not disturbed because of pulling from the skein. So to begin, we're going to start off with a short tail and create a magic circle. And begin with 6 single crochets into the center of our magic circle. For our beginners, to do a single crochet, we go through the center of the circle, we draw up a loop, yarn over through 2 loops on the hook. That completes 1 single crochet. We're going to keep on going until we have a total of 6 single crochet. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, with this short tail here, we're going to go ahead and hold it with our other hand and gently press the stitches and then pull the ring closed. Do not cut this magic tail. We will go ahead and include it in the center of our snake as we close it up. Okay, so we're going to count back 6. These little V's on the top is 1 completed stitch. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And into the top of that 6th single crochet, we're going to place another single crochet. Okay, I'm going to grab a stitch marker and mark this first stitch. Okay, and in the same space that we did the first one, we're going to add a second single crochet. Anytime you have two stitches like this in the same space is known as an increase. Now you notice that our magic circle is starting to open up a little bit. So instead of sewing it, we're going to pull it closed and then take the tail and crochet it over it with the rest of the stitches that we need to do as we go around. In the rest of the 5 single crochets from the previous row, we're going to place 2 single crochets in each stitch. So at the end of this row, we will have a total of 12 single crochet. Remember to crochet over your tail, and you can pull it gently as you need to. Let's see. I looked away for a second. Yep, I forgot one. Don't do like I did and forget one. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. You see, I make mistakes too. But then I'm looking through a camera to my work. So let's double check to make sure that we have the correct amount of stitches. So by these little loops on the top, you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and our first one is number 12. So yes, I did it right. Yay! Okay, so let's move on to our next row. We're going to take out our stitch marker, place in our first onto that next single crochet, and then replace our stitch marker. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 12 single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Please continue with the 12 to finish this row. Beginning our next row, 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Remember to replace your stitch marker. Our second stitch will be our increase, which means 2 single crochets into that next stitch. So our repeat for this row is 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch an increase. So 1 single crochet, and in our next stitch our increase. Continue this around till you get to the end of the row. You should have 18 single crochet. Our next row will consist of 18 single crochet, so we're going to do 1 single crochet per stitch around. Please continue until you have 18 single crochet around. For this row, we will have 2 single crochet and 1 increase. 1, 2 single crochet and increase. This is our repeat for this row. 2 single crochet, 1 increase. At the end of this row, you'll have 24 stitches. Please continue till the end. The next 4 rows will be of 24 single crochet per row. So once you get to the end, remember to replace your stitch marker at every row, and be sure to keep track of how many rows you've done, because we're only going to do 4 rows of the 24 single crochet. So please do that, and I'll meet you in a minute. Please pause your video. So after completing those 4 rows of 24 single crochet, let's go ahead and add our eyes. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and fold it till I kind of find the center back, so you can see where my stitch marker is. Okay, so we're going to count down 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So right here on this line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where we're going to place our eyes. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure I'm on the same row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe I should bring it over one more so it's more centered. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks more centered. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and put our backings on. Okay, and there's the backings. Let's turn it inside out. All right, so we're going to start off with the invisible decrease. To do an invisible decrease, if you notice, we have 2 lines up here. The one in the back is the back loop. The one in the front is the front loop. Over the next 2 stitches, we're going to combine those 2 front loops to make 1 single crochet, which will give us our decrease that we need. So to do that, we're just going to go up 1. We're going to go over and up the other one. So you have the 2 front loops on your hook. So yarn over and go only through those 2 front loops, and see how it looks like a single crochet already? And then yarn over through those last 2 loops on your hook. And since this does count as the first stitch in our row, we need to replace our stitch marker. And we're going to do the same stitch 2 more times. So over these next 2, pick up the front loop only, yarn through those 2 front loops, and yarn over through the last 2 loops on the hook, and 1 more time. Okay, that'll pull it up to kind of give the bottom of the chin area there. Now we're going to go through 12 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had a knot in my yarn. 11 and 12. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have 6 single crochets left, and in these last we're going to do the 3 decreases. So the front loops only of those next 2 stitches, pull up a loop, and then yarn over through the next 2 loops on your hook. Okay, I know you're wondering, when do I add the rattle? We're going to begin this row and only go about 3 or 4 stitches down, and then we're going to start adding our rattle. So let's start off with a single crochet into the next stitch, and then decrease into the next. Okay, single crochet, and then stop. Enlarge your loop. If you still have your tail, go ahead and stuff it in there. Now before we add our rattle, we want to add a little bit of stuffing to the hole. I guess you can hear me digging for my stuffing. Alright, so we're going to place a little bit of stuffing for the nose. Push it down past those eyes. Alright, and here, here comes our rattle. Place it in there on its side and stuff it down in there on top of the nose. Okay, then we're going to add a little bit of stuffing to the back and a little bit of stuffing to the front, or the top here. We'll add some more, but for right now we just want to get enough in there. Whoops, my stitch marker fell out. Okay, single crochet, decrease, single crochet. Okay, and then we want to add the stuffing to the back. You see how this thing wants to pop out every once in a while. Okay, so it should be pretty much even like this after we stuff it. Okay, so we did our single crochet. Now the next stitch for the rest of the row will be just like we've been doing. Single crochet and decrease. So we single crochet, so the next one is a decrease. And single crochet. Now you notice how I'm holding this down in there while I'm putting this on, because you're going to find that the hole is going to get smaller and the rattle won't come out. So go ahead and do that as you continue around, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Make sure you keep pressing your rattle down inside. See how it has a nice little hole here? So for our next row, we're going to take our stitch count down to 11 stitches. So start off with your single crochet, and let's do 5 more single crochet. What we're trying to do is to get to the top center of where the eyes are, and then we're going to do a decrease up there. Okay, so how many did I do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Okay, so that takes us about to center top of the eyes right here. So right here we're going to do a decrease, and then we should have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 single crochet. Okay, enlarge your loop. And what we're going to do is just add a little bit of stuffing. You might want to take your stitch marker out for this. A little bit of stuffing on the back and on the top. And that'll help shape your head a little bit better. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Add some more stuffing here and here. And then we're going to start the body. So basically, we're not really going to be seeing the rattle much. Okay, so here's what our little snake head is starting to look like. Now, the next row is going to be just 11 single crochet around. And we're going to keep doing this for 17 inches. How many rows is that? I have no idea. I never took time to count it. But you don't need to leave your stitch marker in there. You can take it out. So we can start going around with our single crochets for 17 inches. Now, the reason why I asked you to get a pencil or some sort of pushing stick is because as you add length to this, I'm going to try and keep going so you can see what I'm talking about. As you're adding length, it's easier to go ahead and use a pencil to push down and stuff the length of the snake. You do not want to stuff it tight. Now, if you choose to stuff it tight, that's up to you, but it's not really suggested or recommended. Oops, I lost my tension there. Okay, so here, let me get you a little idea. So here we got just maybe 2 or 3 rows. Normally I could just use my finger to stuff it down in there, but I wanted to kind of show you what you would want to do. You just want to pull out a small amount, which is really not that big. Well, for this little area it is. You can take it and put it in here, and then if it's this much crochet that you got, you can take your pencil and bring it in here and stuff it down in here like this. It'll make it a lot easier to go in. Or you can do a long length and use a pencil to push your stuffing down in there. When you do stuff it, just stuff it with small amounts such as this every time you add stuffing to it. If you add a big clump like this, it's just not going to work. So you want to just take a small amount like so and stuff it as you go. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to pause your video, and you're going to be amazed at how quickly this little snake is going to be made up. Go ahead and from here where we started, we want to go 17 inches. So from here, right here at the end of the head where we started our 11 crochet, okay, see how our snake is just continuously going? And you want to stop right here, because the last 3 or 4 rows, I'm going to show you how to finish that. So you want to do 17 inches. And if you want, I'll take time out to count how many rows. But to me, it's just easier to measure by inches. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Well, that took a few minutes, didn't it? Okay, so to re-emphasize, here's 1, and here is 17 inches. So I place my ruler down here, or 70 rows. Yes, 70 rows. All right, so let's move on to tapering. Make sure that you have your stuffing up here. At the very end, add a little extra stuffing, and we'll use our tapestry needle to help pull it up into the tapering part of the tail. Oh, you caught me stuffing, huh? Okay, so what we're going to do is take the last little bit and stuff it down, and then take your little extra and place it on top there, because once we start the tapering, we won't have a hole big enough to place our stuffing in. So I'm going to take the rest of my stuffing and stick it in the bag. Okay, let's move everything else out of the way. Okay, so let's start off with a decrease. We're going to do an invisible decrease. So to do that, remember, go under the front loops of the next 2 and pull up a loop, and then complete a single crochet, and then 3 single crochet, okay. So my little snake is in front of a camera, so it's going to seem a little awkward to me because I won't be able to rotate it as easily. Okay, then we'll decrease again, and 3, okay. So this takes us to 1 before the end of the row. We're going to decrease, and then this time we're going to do 2 single crochet. Let's decrease again, you see how it's starting to taper in? Okay, so we decrease, so let's do 2. And make sure you only grab the stitch, not part of the other side, because it can happen. Okay, decrease. And this time we're just going to do 1 single crochet. Okay, and decrease. Yes, this is going to be a little tight, but we can do this. Okay, and then 1 single crochet. Making sure you pick up both parts of that of the top of the stitch, and let's do 1 more single crochet. Okay, let's go ahead and cut ourselves about a 6-inch tail, and then take the yarn and pull it through the last loop on your hook. So here, my snake wants to go on the ground and start crawling around. That's why it's trying to get away from me. We're going to pick up just the front loops of a couple of stitches, and that'll help close it. Then come up through the top, go down a few rows. And this, I'm going to show you how I finish it off. Some people finish it off a little differently, but I like going through the center of my stitches. Okay, so I've gone through 7 stitches, and then to lock it, I'll go over one and go back. Now if you go back the same way you came in, it will come undone. So that kind of locks it in. There we go. Now let's take our needle, and we're going to come up from up here, and we're going to drag the stuffing to the tip. Okay, and you don't want it hard, you want it soft. Can you see in the camera how it seems kind of squishy? That's what you want it to be. All right, so let's place, we're going to do the tongue next. So here I have about a 12-inch piece of yarn, and what I've done is I've folded it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. So at the end that has the double fold, let's just place an overhand knot on it. This is so that we don't have any edges that unravel, because you don't want to cut it. But it gives the illusion of a tongue. Okay, let's separate our strands to where we have our folded one and our cut ones, like so. So let's take one end, it can be the folded one or the cut one, and place it on our needle. And then right here in the very center, go in, and then come down here and pull the end through. For the other end, we do not want to go into the same hole, because it could have a tendency to come out. So we're going to go over, see the magic circle? We're going to go over, and then we're going to come out through the same hole that the other one came out of. Okay, so take these two ends, let's tie a square knot. And cut it till we have about 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to take my hook and go through somewhere else and come out the same hole where the knots are, grab the little ends and pull it in. Okay, and that'll bury it inside the stuffing. So here we have our little tail, our little tongue. Let's go ahead and take out some black. You want to go about 3 feet, and then you're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to take the cut end and put it on your needle. We're going to start up here at the head, and you can pretty much do any design you would like. Let's see, we want to find something that will be right here in the center. So I'm going to come through, and you want to be careful for it not to knot up. And then use this loop, take your needle and go through it, and then tighten it up. This way we don't have to have a knot at this end. Okay, so I'm going to do a little different design than what I've been doing on this particular one. Okay, so we got one right there. Let's come over here to the other side. And right here. You'll notice that on my other ones, I did 3 across. On this other one, I did 2 across. Okay, so bring your needle down, but try to keep it center. And pull it through. Okay, if you see different colors there, that's in the yarn. So as we go down, either we can do the same pattern or we can do little dots. It's all up to you. It's your snake, it's your design. If you don't want to put anything down it, you don't have to. It's whatever makes your snake your own. Now when we do get down to the tail, if you do plan to accent it with various colors, I would suggest we're going to do a little bit different. So I'm going to encourage you to go all the way down till you get to about right here on the tail if you plan on doing a design. And you'll notice on mine I just did a running stitch around the rows, and on this one I went and did all of the stitches. Okay, so continue with whatever design you have, trying to keep it center all the way down, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so I'm down here at the end of my tail. This is basically what I did. So all I'm going to do is a running stitch that's going to go in and out of the stitches on the row. And you want to do a few stitches at a time and try to make sure that your yarn is the same tension as we go. Now since this is a spiral so far around, you want to kind of see, so we're going to start going down so that we can line up with that spiral. So I'm going to like go through this one here, and then I can tie into that right there. And then if I want, I can go back the other direction and make it one solid line. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go up. I might do something different this time. Go up even higher. And just place a little accent on the tip of the tail. And then I'm going to call it a day. And enjoy my little snake here. But to finish it off, okay, I'm going to come down. Well, let's see. Let's do this first. We need to cut about a 6-inch tail with whatever you have left. Then we're going to separate the strands. We're going to go one. This will help hold it into the stuffing, but because it's an accent, I think it'll be fine. So we're going to come down here, pull it out through the back. Okay, and then with the other one, go through a different hole. So I went over just one loop and come out through the same hole. We're going to do the same thing like we did on the tongue. Tie a square knot. Go ahead and cut the ends and use our crochet hook to pull those ends in. Whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Where's my needle? Here it is. So we can go up with the needle, and that'll help bury it also as well. So, oh my gosh, it's happy. It's happy. It's done. Okay, so to tie it up, you have the head up like this. Bring it around. Take the tail and go through. Here you can twist it a little. There we go. And now all his friends are happy to see him too. Whoops, we forgot his other two friends. So, I hope you had fun making this snake. Thank you for being with me and my friends. Till next time. Bye-bye.